Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to Nalin Senior Boys channel. Class 12 Computer Science, Unit 2, Chapter 8. You all know I started Chapter 8. This video is continuation of Chapter 8, Strings and String Manipulations. In my last video, I started Chapter 8, Strings and String Manipulations. In the video, I explained how to create strings using a single, double, or triple quotes. And then I explained how to access characters in a string with examples. And then how to modify, delete strings with example. Then I explained about string operators like concatenation. Concatenation means joining, append, adding the characters at the end of the string, and repeating, string slicing, strides with slicing strings. And today I'm going to start string formatting operators. The string formatting operators is one of the most exciting feature of Python. The formatting operators percentage is used to construct strings replacing parts of the strings with the data stored in variables. Right? Now let's see the syntax. Strings to be displayed with percentage val1 and percentage val2, percentage val1 comma val2. So this percentage sign is nothing but formatting operator. I think those who know C language, they know. Okay, we use percentage C, percentage yes, etc. Here also we are going to use the same thing, right? And we will see one example. Name Rajarajan, mark is equal to 98. So I stored Rajarajan in the variable name and 98 in the variable mark. Print name percentage yes, right? So percentage yes is nothing but string. Okay, this is called formatting characters, right? S for string and D for integer. So automatically what happened here, only one string is there. So it will take this, and one integer is there. So it will take this. So automatically, see here, name Rajarajan, not Ramarajan, Rajarajan, and mark 98. Okay, you got the output. Is it clear? See, name, this name will be copied here, and marks, this marks will be copied here. So you are giving variables here. Okay, so computer easily, it will identify. Is it clear now? Right? Next, see, some more formatting characters are there. Now, percentage C is for character, percentage S is for string, right? Percentage D or percentage I is for integer, that is signed decimal number, decimal integer, right? Here, decimal means don't think it's a float, okay? Keep it in mind. Decimal means last year you learned in number system, keep it in mind, right? Percentage yes, as I told, it's string. Percentage U, unsigned decimal integer. This is signed. Okay. This is unsigned decimal integer. Percentage O, naturally octal. X means hexadecimal. Right? Is it clear? Percentage E is for exponential notation. And the percentage F is for floating point. This is decimal number in mathematics you say. Right? 4.5 like that. Right? Percentage D or percentage G or percentage capital G, that is small g and capital G, short numbers in floating point or exponential notation. Is it clear? Right? Now you understood this, no? Okay. All right. Now escape sequence in Python. Even in C++ you learned about escape sequence, right? Escape sequence starts with a backslash, /n. For new line, same like that, and it can be interpreted differently. When you have used single quotes to represent a string, all the single quotes inside the string must be escaped. Escaped means you have to use slash. Similar is the case with double quotes. Suppose if you want to include double quotes, you have to give slash, right? See here, string within triple quotes to display a string with single quotes. String with triple quotes to display the string with single quotes. That means like you have to include triple quotes to print double quotes inside. See here, triple quotes. They said, what is this? What is there? Right? So I want double quotes here and one single quotes inside. So the entire string I'm enclosing with triple quotes so that you get they said. See here, double quotes. What is? What's there? Is it clear? Similarly, string within single quotes to display a string with single quote using escape sequence. Okay, now here you have not used escape sequence. Here you are going to use escape sequence. Right? Print they said. Now here you see. Now here, see, I used escape sequence here. Slash single quotes. So you are getting that. Is it clear? Is it clear? Right? Here triple quotes should be there. Only double quotes is there. Remember. Okay, here one more quote should be there. Now string within double quotes to display a string with single quotes using escape sequence. Right? Now here you are going to use escape sequence to print this. See here, triple quote, they said, one slash here, double quotes, what's there here, slash. Okay, this is an alternative method of using this. How to use escape sequence, that's all. Okay, you cannot ask me, sir, here also I'm getting the same output, here also I'm getting the same output. There is an alternate way. Is it clear? Everyone. So the next topic is escape sequence supported by Python. Okay, you already learned escape sequence supported in C++, right? Slash new line, backslash, and new line ignored. Double, this is double slash, that is backslash, to print one backslash, right? And if you want to print the single quotes, you have to give one backslash and single quotes. If you want double quotes, backslash and double quotes. Slash A, bell. See, previously, inside the CPU, inside the cabinet, we will be having, 1 second. Okay, fine. Right, so previously, we had a speaker inside so that you get the noise bell sound. That time, they use slash A. And slash B is for backspace, to leave backspace. Slash F for form feed. Slash N for line feed. This is form feed, line feed. Slash R for carriage return. This is horizontal tab. This is vertical tab. This is a character with octal value. This is hexadecimal value. Is it clear? Understood? These are the escape sequence, and most of the escape sequence very rarely we use, right? Only frequently we use slash N. Okay, and then slash T to print the output, right? Right. Next topic is the format function. The format function used with strings is very versatile and powerful function used for formatting strings. The curly braces, which you use in C++, right, are used as a placeholder or replacement fields, which gets replaced along with format function, right? Very interesting one. Num1 is equal to int input num1, that is number 1. So you enter first number here, and same way you enter second number, and it will be stored in num2. Okay, now here you see, print the sum of, instead of giving this num1, you are giving this format function, and num2, right? Is it clear? Fine. Is, that is total. That is num1 plus num2. How computer identifies that? Here you see you are giving format num1. That means this num1, this bracket will take, this num2, this bracket will take, and the total, this bracket will take. Is it clear? Understood now? Format function. So instead of using num1, you are giving this format function. That's it. Okay. Right. This is an alternate way of printing the values. Right. Next, built-in string function, library functions. Right. In C++, you learned about strlen, strcpy, right? Same way. Python supports the following built-in functions to manipulate strings. First one is lenstr. This function returns the length of, that is, length means number of characters of the string. Exactly similar to the function, that is built-in function you learned in C++, strlen. Okay, do you remember that? Same thing, right? Say A is equal to corporation. Print len of A. That means, you see, len means the character present inside the string. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Understood now? Suppose if any space is there, even space will be counted as a character. Understood this, everyone? Right. Next one is capitalize function. Used to capitalize the first character of the string. Right? Suppose city is equal to Chennai. You stored Chennai inside city. Now here you see the first character is not a capital. Right? Print city dot capitalized. That means the first character will become capital. Is it clear? Right? Next is center width, fill character. Returns a string with the original string centered to a total of width columns and filled with the fill character in the column that do not have characters. Very simple. See, string 1 is equal to welcome. Right? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 character. Right? And here you are giving print str1 dot center 15, star. That means you want total characters to be 15. Okay, except the characters you want to fill with star. Is it clear? But the character, what you enter, the word what you entered will be at the center. And here you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So total 15 characters. Is it clear? Any doubt? Next, find function. Find substring starting letter and ending letter. Okay, index you can say, right? The function is used to search the first occurrence of the substring in the given string. It will search and it will display the position. Okay, it returns the index at which the substring starts. And it returns -1 if the substring does not occur in the string. Okay, right. str1 is equal to mammals. 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 index. Okay. Now str1 dot find MA. Okay, MA. Now here, so it is checking where is MA starting. Okay, 0. As I told, it is starting with, it starts with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so 0th position, it finds MA. Understood? On omitting the start parameter, the function starts the search from the beginning. If you don't give the starting parameter, it will start from the beginning. It will start from the 0. str1 dot find MA, 2. Right? That means 0, 1, 2. Second position. From second position, you identify where is the word MA, or you find and give the index. Right? So 0, 1, 2. Fine. From here, MA is starting at the third index. See, 0, 1, 2, 3 MA. So third position. That's why it is displaying 3. Is it clear? Now next is str1 dot find MA 2, 4. That means you are given even the starting index as well as the ending index. Always remember in function 4, right? 4 minus 1. Correct? So it is 2 to 3. So 2 to 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. So within this, you are searching MA. Can you find it? No. That's why it is returning -1. So displays -1 because the substring could not be found between the index 2 and 4 minus 1. That is 2 and 3. Okay. Next is str1 dot find MA 2, comma 5. That is 4 minus 1. Sorry, 5 minus 1, right? So 0, 1, 2, right? And then 3, 4. Okay. So naturally, again, 0, 1, 2, 3. So third position. That's why it is displaying third position. Is it clear? Okay, fine. So the next is alnum function. Whether it is alphanumeric. Al means alpha, num means numeric. Okay, number, right? It returns true if the string contains only letters and digits. If the string contains only the letters and digit, it will return true. Other than that, it will return false if string contains any special characters like underscore, at, hash, space, star, anything. Anything other than characters and numbers. Okay, see the example. str1 save earth. Okay, str1 dot is alnum function. It is returning false. Why? Because all characters only, na? Yes, you got it. Here, space is given. Space is not a character or number. That's why it is returning false. The function returns false as a space is an alphanumeric character. Now here save one earth dot is alnum function. Here you see 1 is a number, right? And these are alphabets. That's why it is returning true. Even this word is true. Save earth. Literally speaking, we have to save earth. Okay, students, it is in your hand. Grow more trees, right? And save water. Water and trees are the future. Keep it in mind. Okay. Okay, anyway, we will see the example. See here. Say string 1, save earth, and I am printing it. Remember, in your book, the print statement is not there. Directly, if you type, you will get error, right? So print str1 dot is alnum. So it is returning false. And here, you see, it is giving true. Is it clear? Right. Next is alpha function. Returns true if the string contains only letters. Alpha means alphabets. Now click 1, 2, 3 dot is alpha. False. Because 1, 2, 3 is not an alphabet. Right? Here you see Python dot is alpha function. True. Okay. Understood? All simple functions. Okay. So is digit function. Is digit. This is alpha. Is digit. It is checking whether the string contains only numbers. So if the string contains numbers, it will return true. Return true if the string contains only numbers. Otherwise, it will return false. str1 is equal to save earth. And remember, there is no numbers in this. That's why it is returning false. Is it clear? Right. Lower function. Okay. That means it returns exact copy. That means it converts lower, that is a capital letter, into lowercase. Uppercase into lowercase. Return exact copy of the string with all the letters in lowercase. See here. str1 is equal to save earth. All the characters are in capital letter. And print str1 dot lower. That means it converts everything into lowercase. Uppercase into lowercase. Capital letter into small letters. Is it clear? This is lower. Now here you see, just you are checking, you are converting. Right? Here you are checking. Is means checking. Is lower. That means you are checking whether the string is lower. Yes. If it is lower, true. Otherwise, it will return false. Is it clear? Right? Right. Now here you are checking whether the string is uppercase or not. Return true if the string is in uppercase. But here you are given lowercase. That's why it is returning false. Okay. And this is just opposite to this one. Right? If you give in lowercase, it will return into uppercase. Is it clear? Right? Okay. Title returns a string in title case. That means first letter, first character will be in uppercase. Suppose if you give the first letter as a lowercase, like here, education department, and here you see first letter E, see here, it converted into capital letter, and T into capital letter. Is it clear? This is interesting one, swap case. It will change the case of every character to its opposite case, vice versa. This is just for fun, right? Or where you can use this, this can be used to give password, right? Usually the password, if you give like this, nobody can identify it, right? str1, CTA, MIL small, MI is small, L capital, and N capital, A, D capital, U. And it will swap whichever character you had given in small letter, it will convert into capital letter. Is it clear? Is it clear? Right? Next is count str, comma, begin, comma, end. This is an interesting one. See here. Returns a number of substring occurs within the given range. Substring, this is substring. Okay. Remember that substring may be a single character. It can be a single character. The range begin and end. Arguments are optional. You don't need to give the starting and end. Okay. If it is not given, Python search in whole string. Search is case sensitive. Case sensitive means capital letter and small letter. You should be very careful. If you give capital letter, it will check capital letter only. If you give small letter, it will check small letter only. Now see here, str1 is equal to Raja Choran. Print str1 dot count Raja. Okay. Count Raja. How many Raja is there in the string? See here, this is one and this is another one. So it is giving 2. Okay, you have not given the beginning and end. So it will check the entire sentence or word, whatever it is, right? Print str1 count only R. Okay, you check only the character R. See here, there is no R here. Yeah, some are telling this. As I told here, case sensitive. It is case sensitive. That means there is no small r in this sentence. Okay, in this name you can say. And here you see, print str1 count capital R. Now it is checking. 2R, capital R is there. Okay, next is print str1 count A. How many A? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now print str1 count A. Okay. Starting is 0 and begin with 5. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. From here, it will start. Okay. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1 and 2. Okay. And next is print str1 dot count letter A, 0 starting and ending is 5. Always, you know, range function upper bound -1, that is 5 minus 1, that is 0 to 4. Okay, see the string now. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So within this, how many A's are there? 2. That's why it is printing 2. Okay, the next one is print str1 dot count A, 11. So beginning character you have given 11, but ending you have not given. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So from 11, end of the string. How many A's are there? Only one A. So it is printing 1. Is it clear? Right? ORD of char, ordinal, already you learned this. This is just opposite to CHR. Okay, when you give the character, it will return the ASCII value of that character. CH is equal to A. Print ordinal of CH is 65. If you give small a, it will give 97. If you give B, it is giving 66. And this is just opposite to this. It will return, if you give the number, it will return the equivalent ASCII character. Returns a character represented by the ASCII. If you give 97, print char of CH is small a. And if you give 87, capital W. Is it clear? Any doubt? Right. So next is membership operators. The in and not in operators can be used with strings to determine whether a string is present in another string. Therefore, these operators are called as membership operators. Already you learned how to use in operator and not in operator in if-else statement, right? Okay, right. Now str1 is equal to input enter a string and str2 is equal to Chennai. Now if str2, that means str2, this one, in str1, that means the string what you are going to enter is equal to Chennai, then it will print found. Otherwise it will print not found. Is it clear? Enter a string Chennai, Government Higher Secondary School, Saidapet. And here you see within the string, they found Chennai. That's why it displayed found. And here you see there is no Chennai in the string. That's why not found. Is it clear, everyone? Right? So I am stopping it here, and remaining examples in the next video I will continue. Okay, children. Thank you. See you. Bye. Take care.